Must whet the whistle. Greetings, weary travelers, fellow story gremlins. To Reaction Sleepover. This is the series we get cozy and we react to stuff. I'm getting spooked already because we are doing more spooky stories. It is a lovely, cozy fall day. If you have any stories that you think would be fun for me to read, email me or links in the description. But yes, we continue the spooky season stories. Ooh, alliteration. So be sure to grab your extra cozies and your snackies and let's head on into it. Also, I want to do the thing again. Subscribe! I think it's fun that the button lights up. Let's warm up with a short one. Hearing my girlfriend's voice at 4 a.m. while she was gone. Wonderful. So to preface this, I still do not believe in any kind of paranormal occurrences. Really? After that? I'd be on high guard at all times after that. I swear, I'm on like high guard every night anyway. I hear any little noise, I'm like freaking out. Does anyone else, like when you're going to the bathroom, you open the shower curtain every time because you want to make sure nothing's behind there? No? Are you normal? Oh, you must have more peaceful nights than I do. Nor do I have any history of schizophrenia. Okay, so I live with my girlfriend who is from the Netherlands. I'm American, and she decided to leave for 2 weeks to visit home as she always does. The airport she was flying out of was about 2 hours from our house. Ugh, how real that is. The classic, like, you have to leave, like, at least 4 hours before your flight. So I was looking at about 4 hours. Well, yeah, 2 plus 2. It's not groundbreaking, Amanda. I got way too excited at that. So about a 4-hour drive, round trip. We left for the airport at about 12 a.m. Yay. And arrived shortly after 2 a.m. It's your fault. You went during the bewitching hour. Or isn't that like 3 a.m.? No wonder I'm extra spooked when I'm going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. No wonder I have to check behind the shower curtain. So we say our usual goodbyes and she heads in. Enters final destination. So here I am with another long drive ahead of me. To make a long story short, I got home a little after 4 and headed straight for bed as I was exhausted. Just going to the airport is exhausting enough. I usually always have to decompress on my phone before I feel the need to pass out. I mean, same. What I'm laughing at though is just like the idea he's just doing this until eventually he's just... I messed up my hair. Ooh, unless it's got a nice little fluff to it now. Gorgeous. So I'm doing exactly that when clear as day I hear, "Bryce, I'll be there soon." In her accent and everything. Come to find you just forgot you were on the phone with her. "I'll be there soon." You're like, oh, who said that? The whole like, where's my phone? As you're scouring around. She's on FaceTime. She's like looking at you like, what? I'm right here. What are you freaked out about? Be gone, foul demon. Babe, Babe, where did the cross come from? In her accent and everything. So naturally as one does, I immediately go bonkers and turn every light on in the house. Oh, that is so real. I am like... Again, I'm a huge wimp if I'm going into the bathroom in the middle of the night. Like, sometimes I'm brave and I just don't turn the light on, but usually I feel the need to. It's so dumb. I feel so stupid every time. You know what though? At least I'm prepared. Safe to say I got 0 sleep that night. I truthfully cannot explain what that was, and my girlfriend thought I was just messing with her. Excuse me as I get possessed, as I often do. But this is the one time I wish she believed me. What it probably was is you were just so tired. Like, I think I've experienced this before. Like, you are going to sleep and sometimes you just hear a voice. Does that happen to anyone else? That has happened to me, like, not very often, but sometimes. It's just my husband talking in his sleep, which he does, by the way. It's horrifying. But yeah, that whole, like, you're going to sleep, kind of like that feeling of like, oh, you suddenly feel like you're falling when you're going to sleep. Sometimes a voice just pops in. Still freaky, but you know. And interestingly, someone said when I suffered bad from sleep paralysis, I would hear bangs. I know they mean bang, bang, but I just pictured the hair. What would bangs even sound like? Do it. Post-breakup women cowering everywhere. That's what gets them to actually go through with it. They get so spooked by the ghost of the bangs. Could you imagine? You open your eyes and it's not even bangs on like a ghost. It's just the bangs floating there. I would hear bangs when dropping off or having auditory hallucinations on waking/dropping off, like voices/TV/radios/footsteps. I don't know what voice that was. Could be you entered REM when still slightly awake. But what's interesting is I got a little glimpse of the OP statement. Statement? What am I, a news reporter? We are live with OP's statement. It could be possible, but as I mentioned in another comment, I was actually completely awake despite being physically tired. It's tough for me to get to sleep, so I usually sit on my phone for about 45 minutes or so before I feel the urge to pass out. Interesting. Again, though, brains are a weird thing. It's wild, wild west in there. As much as we know, it's like we know as much as we do about the ocean. Just so much more in there that we have no idea what's going on. Very spine tingling. Good one. Dude, even reading this title, did you encounter a skinwalker or was it something else? Every time I have that like shiver down my spine, my immediate reaction is just go, I'll chest bump the ghost. Get out of here. This experience is one I never shared with anyone besides my brother. We are your brother now. When I was about 13 year. Are you older than that? Is it actually 1300 and you just forget how to speak modernly? I was living in rural BC. See? BC? You've actually been alive since 13 BC? One night I was in the hot tub on the deck outside just watching the woods, taking in the silence. It was winter time and we just recently had a snowfall that left around knee height deep of snow. Hot tub? Bougie. It was around 2 to 3 a.m. and out of nowhere this very large wolf, bigger than one I've ever seen by far, came out of the woods. Hello. I remember its coat being a shimmering silver and its bright piercing green eyes. Ugh. Silver and green. What a combo. I remember one time we were driving and I saw something white and I was like, it's either a wolf or a goat, maybe a sheep, who knows? Imagine though, it's like, oh, I pass by quickly, I go, was that a wolf? And I look and it's just a sheep, just like, greetings. Maybe I encountered a skinwalker. As this wolf was walking along the fence of our paddocks, it locked eyes with mine, and we just kind of stared at each other as he walked past me. Oh, could you imagine? Because if it's dark, because it's at night, right? I guess they didn't say it was necessarily nighttime. Ah, middle of the night. There we go. Both alone in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. I can answer my own question so quickly if I just read the next sentence. Can you imagine in the middle of the night, you just see these two little green dots? I guess you can see the rest of them too, but like, ugh, just the two green eyes. Green? Because isn't it like wolves have, assuming this is an actual wolf, not a skinwalker, that it's more like yellow? Maybe it's like it was just a very specific kind of yellow that looks green. Who knows? Or it is a skinwalker and they messed up. We're on to you, buddy. In the middle of nowhere. Great. What happened next till this day instantly makes my spin shiver. So messed up, can't even properly spell spine. Or they literally mean spin, like spin shiver. Kind of like in cartoons when they get spooked and their head pops off and spins a bunch of times. As the wolf walked past, he walked towards our barn with our horses in it. Oh, don't you dare. It became darker as it entered the barn, but it was open? What are you doing? It became darker as it entered the barn, but the other side of the barn still had a bright light illuminating the outside that I could clearly see. This wolf, as it entered, halfway through, it went from the shape of a wolf, no, to a very large, broad-shouldered person. Excuse me. I'm gonna go cease to exist. I'm only reading this and I just want to implode. I'm sorry. Shape-shifted? The horses didn't make a single sound. The two shocked. I'd be too. And this person that now stood roughly 7 feet tall rounded the corner towards the open field but didn't emerge from the other side. I never saw it again. This makes me want to crawl out of my skin. Joke's on you, I'm the shapeshifter. My brother had his own encounter with the same wolf, I'm guessing. It's the same guy. He told me he woke up randomly one night from the feeling of being watched. Jacob! It's not Bella! He then looked out his window to see a very large wolf walking away from his window, so I'm guessing it was watching him sleep. No, thank you. Jacob and Edward combined. They turn into a wolf, but they will watch you sleep. This place we lived at was an old native ground. Our barn was an old schoolhouse where the Catholic priest would put the native children and teach them lessons on Christ. And actually, this is a good moment to take a pause to actually say it was Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday at the time we're recording this. And November coming up is Native American Heritage Month, so I'm going to have links in the description to give some love and support, good vibes to individuals and organizations that help support Native Americans. They even had the old desk and chairs inside still. My brother and I both saw children's faces in the panes of glass from that barn and lights turning on randomly. We had closet doors slam repeatedly for minutes at a time, footsteps and feeling of being watched. In my room, I saw glowing red eyes on the ceiling, and I hid under my covers till morning. Anyway, my main subject of this post and what I'm more seeking answers for is what did I encounter outside in the middle of the night? A skinwalker, you said so yourself. After I looked around myself, the closest thing I could find was skinwalkers or wendigos. I see wendigo and I just think of, what was the game called? It's on the tip of my tongue. Until Dawn. There it is. Those are freaky. This is just becoming Twilight. No wonder Jacob got confused. You were doing your research, just like she was. But from I read, these creatures have deformed features of things that make them uncanny or straight up horrific. Yeah. What I saw, nothing struck me as abnormal about this wolf besides its massive size until it literally changed its entire form in front of me. I know this is a long-winded read. Sorry I'm not a great storyteller. You kidding me? You got me wanting to implode to escape the spook. And there's just so much that I experienced at this property that this just scratches the surface of everything. The wolf incident is just something I've never really been able to grasp and always wanted some kind of answer because it feels and sounds unbelievable. Yeah, you're right. I also understand the term Skinwalker is Navajo lore and doesn't correlate with BC tribes, but this is just representation of what I saw with the closest accuracy. Interesting to know. I think something is haunting my home. Hope it's nice. Hope they make me ghost cookies and sing me to sleep at night. A few weeks ago, my dad left home to go to work in Mindanao. I was excited since he was going to bring gifts such as food and toys. A week or two later, perhaps in the afternoon, I heard a familiar voice. It was my dad, and my mom was talking to him. I sighed and focused on my iPad. The sass. A few minutes later, my dad knocked on the door. When I opened it, I saw him. He wore a gray shirt. Why am I mentioning this? This is important later. I don't like that. Me and dad hugged each other? I'm sorry, hugged each other? Like you touchy? How? Isn't there like a specific kind of ghost where like if there's physical contact, it's like they're even more scary? I don't know, I'm pulling from Phasmophobia. I don't remember much about the conversation, but I remember him saying, "Tomorrow I'll show you something." How about not, father? He was acting really weird, but he's a weird guy, so I didn't mind it. Oh, that's so funny. This ghost studied your father. They're like, oh great, I don't have to be that not weird. I said, that's so weird. Maybe I'm the ghost. They already know that your dad is weird, so they didn't have to try that hard. The weirdness just can peek through, and the uncanniness just fits the vibe, I guess. After that, I went to sleep. A few hours later, I woke up in the middle of the night. I was a bit dizzy, so I went to get a glass of water. Dizzy? Oh. Did you drink enough before you went to bed? Drink water. Now. I'll wait. Good. Stay hydrated, beans. Beans? Gremlins. Gremlin beans! When I checked my parents' room, I saw that only my mom is there. I asked, Ma, where's Dad? Did he leave? What? Your dad is still in Davao? Davao? Sorry, I don't know. Mom replied, my mispronunciation is ruining the vibe. I was freaking flabbergasted. If Dad was still in Davao, then who the frick did I hug? I'm still on the fact that you could hug them. I explained to my mom what happened, and I literally heard her talking to my dad, but she denied it. Yeah, she's feeling just as embarrassed. Unless there were two. The next morning, I talked to my mom about going to the mall. Mom was feeling unwell, so she said that Dad can let me go to SM when he comes back. That's when the memory of what happened last night flooded back. The nightmares. I told her what happened again, and she was as shocked as me. Was she like half asleep or something when you told her last night? Maybe she wasn't paying attention. Which, I mean, I'd pay attention real quick if someone was impersonating my husband. The audacity. Then she called my dad, explaining what I told him. I started freaking out when he said that he was wearing a gray shirt the day before. It was studying your dad, literally, because they noticed, oh, he's wearing a gray shirt. I will wear a gray shirt. Perfect. They'll never suspect a thing. The perfect plan. A few weeks later, I somewhat forgot about the experience. How? I I'd forget that until I died, and then I would haunt them for vengeance. Imagine a ghost trying to haunt a ghost. That's kind of an adorable image. Mom walked up to me and asked if I went to their bedroom and opened the closet. I said, no, I'm not weird. And she said she saw someone opening the closet. No. Who is this ghost, and why are they pranking you? She didn't mind it since she thought it was me, and obviously it wasn't. Great. Now you're both scarred for life. So now whenever you both are passed on, you can team up and take revenge. Start wearing gray shirts around them. You remember this? You jerk? It's like in SpongeBob. You know when Mr. Krabs tries to take a piece of paper that has like the shopping list on the back and he draws a ghost, he throws it into SpongeBob's window. That's what they start doing to that ghost. It's just a gray shirt. Ooh. That, yes, has a shopping list on the back because that's the only way you can remember to go to get what you're trying to shop for. You got to write it on your shirt, and then you have strangers read it off the back at you. Be like, hey, can you tell me what I'm missing? Is it the eggs? I stayed up all night, so my friend who was living with me didn't leave the room. I didn't leave either since I was too busy watching TikTok. Dad thinks someone is haunting this area. You don't say, Padre. I don't think the house is haunted since no one died in the house, plus my dad built it. My theory is that ooh, maybe this is the ghost. Encanto is toying with us. Encantos are deities or nature spirits that Filipinos used to worship and respect during the pre-colonial times. Although this theory could be easily disproven, perhaps just picturing, if it really is this Encanto, maybe it's dual since, they heard them talking to what they thought was their mom. They're both just impersonating the parents. They're just bored. Finally have some new people to mess with. The pranksters of the ghost world. Especially in the beginning when they're like, I'm going to show you something, and it's just a pie that they shove into your face. It's like, we don't need to be afraid of them. The only times we need to be afraid of them is what prank they're going to do next. But it's like the most harmless ones. Perhaps a gust of wind could have opened the closet. The only question I have is, who the F did I hug a few weeks ago? Because there's that. That's freaky. That's freaky. Imagine hugging, like, your dad, and it wasn't him. If it's not my father, then who is it? Plot twist, it's just his secret twin he's always had. That was a good one. That's horrifying. Oh my gosh. It's possible that someone might just be buried there. Or there used to be a house there and they just stuck around. Imagine the ghost. It's kind of like Men in Tights, where they roll the house away and he's just sitting there on the toilet. And the ghost is like, huh? Where's my house? No, since your dad built it, it's a rite of passage. They have to mess with him. Creepy experiences. Great. First off, I'm going to start off with some information about myself. I am an avid catfisher. Oh. I thought this verse was like, I love to catfish people. It's like, interesting to admit, but okay. No, I'm just dumb. Literally the next sentence, I love to fish at night when it's peaceful and quiet. Which again, you could take as like, I'd love to catfish people at night. No, they literally mean catfishing. I'm just stupid. And I tend to stay out extremely late on non-work nights. So that leads me to why I was here at this lake, experiencing what I did. I forget what day it was, but I was alone. Girlfriend at the time didn't want to come with, and I couldn't convince anyone to come with me. Fine, since no one loves me. So F it, I'll go by myself. Fine. You heathens. I grabbed my gear and my gun, fished for a few hours. Caught a few. While I was fishing, I kept hearing talking. Couldn't see anyone. They're like, look who came. Oh. Guess I'm still alone. Figured maybe they were just walking down the road. I play it no mind. Fast forward a few hours. This is a city lake, so it's decently lit up in most areas. Oh, that's kind of nice. I hear a whistle. Don't you dare. Whistling? That's like the most rude thing you can do. If it's like a spooky kind of setting, don't you dare whistle at me, you hooligan. I look around. I don't see or hear anything further. Resume fishing. Another whistle. Who's doing that? Reveal yourself. This time to my right. I'm thinking to myself, it's probably some kids, but this is an attention-seeking whistle. Oh no, like the, I can't whistle. That whistle. Like one that someone would do if they want your attention. Yeah. Again, I see and hear nothing. I turn around, I see a cat, think nothing of it. It's the cat that's whistling. Surprise, it's the Cheshire Cat. I go back fishing. I hear another whistle. You're like, I hear it one more time. This time, behind me. There's my defense mechanism again. I'll turn around and chest bump you. Cat's gone. I reel in my lines. Catfish are pretty strong, so I don't want to lose a $200 pole. Yeah. I put my hand on my gun and I quietly walk around the building. Nothing. And I see and hear nothing. It should be impossible since there's gravel everywhere. I turn around and walk back, and directly behind me I hear a very loud and shrill whistle. Hello, Banshee! It's immediately giving me that vibe. Dude, reading that? Just like reading the like, oh, this time behind me, stuff like that, like that made me like stop breathing for a second. Enough to make me flip around and draw my gun. My heart is pounding, so I grab my crap and I book it to my car. Fast forward a week later. So you survived that one. Last Friday or Saturday night, friend and I go to the same place. I forget about the whistling. We go fishing, we have a decent time. Like, at least I'm not alone this time. As I look around, I kept noticing shadows in the trees along the lake, almost like something was running near the lights and jumping around. What in the chimpanzee ghost? Is that what it is? Are they just chimpanzee ghosts? Some kind of monkey ghost? Monkeys do mess with you. That's my theory. This video's theme is just prankster ghosts. I don't think much of it. Really? You don't think much of it? Figured it was the night playing tricks on me. After the last experience? My friend who didn't tell me till later also observed the exact same thing. Come close to 3 a.m. and I hear some people chatting. I don't see anyone, which was odd. The lake is kind of a pit with roads all around, impossible not to see someone walking by. I'm kind of sketched, but I keep fishing. I read sketch and I just immediately like, as soon as someone feels scared, they just do a little sketch of them looking afraid. Around 3:15 a.m., I begin to hear birds tweeting. This is dead of night. I turn to my friend and I'm like, you hear the birds chirping? Kind of odd for 3 a.m. He looks around kind of paranoid. Ugh. 5 to 10 minutes later, he says, those aren't birds chirping. Someone is mimicking them. Gross! Ugh. Dude, OP, this is so good. Every one of these sentences where it's just like sending immediate shivers down my spine. I love this. I hate it, but I love it. I look at him and I'm like, what are you on about? And he goes, remember that story you told me your coworker told you? I nod, yeah? About the incidents on why they don't let anyone swim here any longer? Oh no. And he goes, how many people have died? As soon as he says that, the crickets stop. The wind dies immediately. The fish stop biting. My pole was being pulled in as he said that, and it just slipped off, and you could hear a pin drop. Literally like the bog in Lord of the Rings where they're walking across with Gollum and it's all the bodies. Do you feel that, Mr. Krabs? I'm scared. I have to cope somehow. It's going to be SpongeBob. It's going to be SpongeBob and Lord of the Rings jokes. The epitome of my brain, apparently. And I nod. My chest is feeling heavy and hard to breathe. A horrible feeling of dread. This is literally when Frodo is like looking down. He's like being pulled in. Literally, but also mentally. He looks around and says, bro, let's pack our crap and dip. If you go there one more time, you're like, oh, maybe it was fine. I agree, and we grab half the junk, pack it up. The tweeting starts back up. We go back for the rest and rush to the car. He suddenly flips around with his meh. Why am I reacting like I'm watching this? Maybe it's because, like, you know, when we're reading stories, our brains are like doing that. So literally as I read the word knife, I was like, oh. Suddenly flips around with his knife drawn and I pull my gun. And he says, we need to go now. We get in and drive off. And I'm like, what the F did you pull your knife for? And he says, something was running behind me, like it was charging us. Ew! Dude, you have so many of these like mic drop sentences. What's that, like the third or fourth one that's just got me like, bleh. I don't know what happened, but even typing this out gives me chills. I don't believe in anything supernatural or paranormal. I bet you do now. Ghosts, werewolves, whatever it is considered paranormal or spooky. It scared the crap out of me. Something wasn't right and I knew it. I can't explain it. I guess I'm asking in case someone might know what I might have experienced. As an update, I've been noticing footprints in the grass around my home. And noises in the dead of night. Noises like the one I just made. Wah, 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 wah. Deep breath, everybody. Still, like, I'm shaking a little. This is freaking me out. Someone was like, F that. I wouldn't go back there again because if it follows you home, it's going to be hard as hell to make it leave you alone. They said, unfortunately, I think it did. Roommates are saying they heard something stalking the windows. Apparently there was something interested in my friend's girlfriend. She's taken, sir. Old Appalachian folklore is don't go in the woods at night, never whistle in the woods at night, and if you and another person are in the woods at night, never use each other's names. Ooh. Also, don't answer to out-of-place voices, like familiar voices of people who aren't with you. Gross. Well, you're welcome for that piece of survival information. Ugh. This story is creepy, but the comments made it so much more creepy. Like, what do you mean it followed you home? And someone else is like, sounds like a mimic. Yay. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm gonna give my husband a big old hug when he gets in. These were so good. Especially that last one. Dude, you had so many just like mic drop statements. Had me actually just... I'm pretty sure a couple of them made me like stop breathing for a second. Whew. All right. It's safe now. You can come back up under the covers. You can turn on the lights. It's okay. Everyone give yourselves a big hug or give each other a hug if you're watching with a friend, which, hello. Wowie zowie. So that shall be it. If you have any spooky stories, please send them to me. I love reading spooky stories. I love reading any stories. Send me anything. But especially since we are in spooky season, reading spooky stories is really fun. I hope you're doing well, but if not, I hope this video's brightened your day at least a little bit. I appreciate you all so much. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for supporting the channel as always, and if anyone's new here, welcome! Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you stick around. But yes, that will be it. Appreciate you all so much. Take care of yourselves and each other. Do your best to be a good human, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!